Sorry. You wanted me to do the change and then say it. Yeah. Sweet. In virtual... Oh, no! I gotta break the rubber band in half for the first thing, so we're gonna take the rubber band, break... Oh, actually, no, I need this rubber band for something else. Hold on, let me put that back together. I'll get a new rubber band, never mind. Hi guys, I'm Pip, here in Las Vegas, filming for VRLU at a special experience for you. It's my introduction to friendly deception. Looking forward to it. I was 22 and I met this girl and we went to this bar and I'd met her. She was working at the event that I was working at, and the next night she took me to this bar and it was in this country town in Australia, and the girl goes, "Oh, this guy's a magician. He'll show you a magic trick," because she knew the bartenders. And it came to the point where I'd do one trick, we'd get one round of drinks. And this went for about 12 rounds and I didn't pay for a drink all night. It was great. That happens a lot actually. It's a really easy game. All you have to do is take the paper clip and place it onto the red card. Super easy. There we go. Grab that paper clip. Red card's it's in the middle, by the way, just so you know. Yeah? Okay. So I should have explained that better. You're taking the paper clip and placing it on the red card in the middle. You can give that another try if you want. Just there we go. Again, that's my fault. It's in the middle. It's the one in the... You know what, never mind. Favorite part about Las Vegas, probably just the entertainment community. I love all the different shows. I love that every major artist comes through here, so I can see whatever I want. There's some amazing restaurants on the Strip. There's just so much here, and so much more here than people actually expect. I like to go hiking. There's so many little adventures you can do just outside Las Vegas, and even in Las Vegas. So it's a city that offers more than you'd ever expect. I got these here VRLU cards. We asked them when they were making them to actually put the business information on them, but they just thought that the VRLU thing just looked so cool they didn't even bother with it. So what I'll do is I'll print my own. Action! Mr. Tim. Yeah. Okay, I can tell you part of the story about Ibiza. I can't tell you about the parts that I signed the NDA on because of who I was performing for. But basically no one told me what I was walking into. I got a phone call and they said, "What are you doing this weekend?" And it was like Wednesday afternoon. I said, "Nothing. I have the weekend off. I'm going to relax." They said, "No, you're on a plane tomorrow." I landed in Ibiza. I've got no idea what's going on. They just said, "Take your show and go." And they said, "You'll be performing at 1 a.m. And I show up at this private villa in Ibiza, and basically the group I was performing for, no one told me that they didn't speak any English, and the show I brought was a word of mouth show. Like, it wasn't a visual show, it was all speaking. So that was a really fun half an hour when no one knew what I was saying. And what was great was, as I walked in, I started talking, and everyone gave me this weird, like, "What? Why is he speaking English?" And then I looked to the person next to me and said, "Oh man, I need a translator." And then he looked at me weird, and I thought, "Oh, I need a translator translate to him, that I need a translator translate to them." And that pretty much sums up how good the rest of the show was. Let's just say the people I was performing for were also very serious. And there was one point where I steal watches during my shows. I give them back. I do give them back, but I do still watches during my show. And there was one point where I stole the watch and the whole room went very dead silent. I'd stolen the watch from someone very important. I had no idea who anyone was in the room. And basically I was told to stay there and be quiet. And they all discussed in another language which I can't say because it'll give it away, but they discussed another language for a little while, this whole watch stealing, and it was very obvious because they were all pointing at it and pointing at me, and there was a lot of tension in the room, and then after about 5 minutes, everyone laughed, and then I was kind of given the wave to continue, which I don't know why, because no one knew what I was saying anyway. So that was a weird experience. Not the first time that something similar has happened, but that was a very tense moment. I didn't know if I'd be coming home from Ibiza at that point. God, me. No, greatest of all time? Ooh, that's a hard one. I mean, the thing is, the people that I admire the most are the hobbyists. That's just, the skill level is just insane. The things they're able to do dexterily it just blows my mind. And then the people that you'll never ever hear about, you'll never see, you'll never ever get to see them do magic. And they're probably some of the best magicians I've ever seen. So yeah, it's the unknown magician, basically. Don't screw up this time, Mr. Timothy. Sharing an experience with people. It's honestly, the audience reaction never gets old for me. Even if it's a similar reaction, it's sharing it with new people. I'm going to go into that a little bit later. I think it's just sharing the experience with people. That's what I love most. Ugh. I can't believe I have to work under these conditions. My rider said 38 degrees for the water. This is at least 42. I can tell.
Let's get it.
Video 8, the French drop.
Les French dip. Les French, I don't know how to say that in French, actually.
Craziest thing that ever happened on a gig.
I had a guy pull his thingy out. I don't think it gets any crazier than that. Long story short, it was one of my first ever jobs. I was like 18 years old, working in a bar. Everyone's super drunk. It's like 2 a.m. in the morning. And this guy gets up, and I'm like, oh, look, it's in your pocket. And he goes, no, it's in here. And just, vroom. Well, no, it wasn't that. It was more like, you know what I mean. But yeah, that was probably the craziest thing that's ever happened. And I've had some crazy things happen, but I think a guy pulling it out in front of a whole room of people is probably number one craziest thing. So before I did the conference, they actually had Princess Anne, the Queen's daughter, speak before me, and then I performed, which, yeah, let's have the Queen's daughter open for this idiot. So I tell my grandmother about this, and she gets very excited, and she goes, I was visiting Australia at the time, she goes into her bedroom, comes back out with these photos from the 1950s of when the Queen visited Australia. My grandfather was the photographer for the Royal Australian Air Force, and he'd taken and printed these photos of her visit and kept them. So she says, look, if you have any chance of giving them to her, to, you know, Princess Royale, Princess Anne, I said, I'll see, no promises. So I take the photos with me, and I ask them a few weeks beforehand. They say, yes, she'll be backstage with you. You should be able to hand them to her. I said, okay, cool, because I have no idea what the protocol is. Come to the day, and she will not be backstage. And I said, oh, look, I don't mean to be rude, and I hope this is just for my grandmother. Do you mind if she has these photos, please? And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. And then the staff there pull out these photos and see how old they are and how beautiful they are. I said, yeah, it's of the Queen. And they say, oh, yes. They hand off these photos. And about an hour or so later, I'm in the dressing room, and it's the Princess Royale's assistant. He says, would you like to meet the Princess Royale? And I said, I'm pretty sure the only answer is yes. So he said, I'm going to come back and I'll get you and we'll go. And go into the room, and she's seen the photos. And so it was this really touching moment, because I know if my grandfather had been alive, it would have meant the world for him. And she's asking me about the photos, and we're talking about them. I said, yeah, they're just beautiful photos of your mother. And I see her. And I just realized I referred to the Queen of England as your mother to the princess. and she turned very politely and kept talking, but I could tell that that was definitely not protocol. But she was lovely. She ended up coming back asking questions, and it was a lovely experience, and getting to chat with her. And then she went and spoke, and I did my show. A couple months later, I get a letter from Buckingham Palace, from the Princess Royale, and it says very clearly, because her assistant wrote it, the Princess Royale would like to let you know that she loved the photos of her mother, and I know that was thrown in just as a little jab, because I misspoke in front of royalty. So that was a really interesting experience, but it's a really nice little memento to have. Wait, sorry. I just had a whole brain thing. I'm gonna get it right this time. 12. Almost got me. Bonus content time. Whee! Ooh. Seeing the world? Maybe? I don't know. I think actually how I perceive the world. I think understanding people and understanding how the world works, that's definitely come from magic. Understanding that the reality that we experience is completely different to the reality people standing right next to us are experiencing. Also, just communicating with people, understanding people. Definitely magic has shown me a whole different way of communicating. Now we're getting ready to finish up the shoot. It's been so much fun, but I have my favorite thing I want to show you, which is something with a little silk. That's a wrap. So excited for you to see my experience on VRLU. Hope you like it.